spoke about some of these things before, but now we'll be able to see it. Hopefully, make it easier. So first, we'll start with the esrog. So you're looking at this esrog here. I'm going to pass it around later so you can see closer. There are two opinions. Remember, we said one of the esrog has to be, it's kosher no matter what. Not no matter what. There's certain things that would actually make it not kosher. But generally speaking, it's kosher, but it's the more beautiful it is, the better it is, because the Torah calls it hadar. What makes an esrog beautiful? First of all, if it's all yellow, green means it's not fully grown yet, fully ripe, but it's kosher. But when it's all yellow, that's beautiful. Number two, there's no spots on it. You'll see this esrog, you'll take a look at the bottom, you'll see what a little spot. So even though it's still kosher, but if it wouldn't have the spot, it would be super kosher, if you can say that. Okay. That's number one. Number two, look at these bumps here. The reason why bumps are considered a positive thing is because, thank you very much. One of the things that we need to be very careful with is, in English they say they shouldn't sell you a lemon. I don't know where it comes from, but on sukkahs you have to be careful that you're not getting a lemon. The lemon could look very much like an esrog. And not only that, but in these trees where they grow esrogim, they need witnesses. There has to be witnesses that can testify this is an esrog tree. It's not a different fruit. The bumps is one of the indications that it belongs to the esrog family, not to the lemon family. So the fact there are bumps is actually a positive thing, that it makes it more clear that it's an esrog.
It smells different.
What?
It smells different. It looks different.
You'll see, if you put the two together, you'll see it. Of course, if you go into the very detail, but it could be deceiving. People actually, they do something else. They mix, they graft the trees. So it might have esrog tree that's grafted to a lemon tree, and you don't even know that there's really not a pure esrog tree.
Grafted tree? No, right?
Well, for business purpose, people do it. They're not honest. It's true. You're not supposed to. Of course, there's certain esrogim, you look at them, and they're a little bit out of shape. This one is a very straight, symmetrical sort of, you want to say. And now this has a pitum. This little thing on top is called pitum. Not all esrogim have this. Some grow without it, some grow with it. But if it grows with it and it breaks, it's not kosher anymore.
What is it called again?
Pitum, P-I-T-U-M. You're welcome. Now you have the other side of the esrog. This is also something which adds to the beauty of the shape, is that it goes deeper in on the bottom. Not all, some of them are flat on the bottom, and some go in. And that makes it, that's also considered something which enhances the esrog. Now I began to say there are two opinions, what's, in terms of the shape, what's more beautiful. And if you look at pictures or you look at the esrogim, you'll see, in some communities, the beauty is the opposite. Over here, it's wider on top and gets more narrow on the bottom. In other communities, they like the esrog to be the reverse. Wider on the bottom, and as it goes to the top, it gets more narrow and pointy. That's what makes it beautiful. Our custom, the Rebbe's custom, was to choose the esrog of this shape. The top is wider, and the bottom is narrower. That's what makes it beautiful. If there's a hole in the esrog, that actually will disqualify it. Even a hole, there's sometimes a possibility that it could be kosher, but then it's really a question, and one has to make sure to check with the road. But Baruch Hashem, you'll have someone buying an esrog for you. But what you look at mainly is you want to look at the cleanliness; it should be clean, and mainly on the top. The top part is the one. If there's a little bit of spots on the bottom, it's not the same as if it would be on the top part. So I'm going to pass this down, and if you can, please don't squeeze it and don't bite into it.
I'll try.
I'm a time. It unfortunately happened more than once. People know you make a bracha, you have to take a bite, and they bite into the esrog.
Oh my God.
Now we'll talk about the lulav. Okay, this is a lulav. This lulav, actually, I cut it down a little bit because the one who wanted this lulav to be cut to size a little bit, he can cut it. You're allowed to cut on the bottom. You're not allowed to cut anything that gets knocked off on top will disqualify it. But on the bottom, you could cut it. I'm going to pass this around also, but I want to show you something. So what is a lulav? A lulav is palm branches, but the palm branches means this is a branch. Look at this. This little thing here grows and grows and grows, becomes a very big branch. But right now, this is a baby branch. So all the leaves are still very much connected to the lulav itself. And what I mentioned in class is that it needs to be both. It needs to be separate, but it also can be hard as a rock, which means when it first begins, it's so strong, so hard, so inseparable, it's like a stick. That's disqualified, not good. Has to be separate leaves and yet close together because it's supposed to.
Notice up and heaven bound, local 3, train 2, Harlem 138th Street, 5 minutes away.
When you take one off, to show you something, you take this leaf. Remember I told you that each one of the species represents unity. This leaf itself is two. There's two leaves there. And they're one. Why am I taking it apart? How do you put the lulav, the hadassim, and the aravas here? You put this over here, and this is what holds it together. Which means you just put it together like you do it like this, like a knot. Like this. In other words, even this that's holding it together should be part of the lulav. That shouldn't be a foreign particle, foreign object. You put it around, and then you put everything there in the middle, and you just tie it around a few times, and that's how it's held. There are different customs.
You take it from the other one?
What?
You take one from the other one?
You take from here, yeah. There are different customs. In other communities, they have actually a little case, something that's also made out of lulav. It's woven. They put it over here with two pockets. In one pocket that you probably seen in the flat, there's one pocket you put lulavim, in one pocket you put esrogim. And I guess in our community we don't do that, and we want the other species to be actually tied onto the lulav itself, so we have nothing in between. And our custom is that at the bottom, at the base, there are three of these, and up here there are two of them, one here, one there, so it shouldn't shake all around. Some people think the mitzvah is to shake it as hard as you can. It's not a good idea because if you shake it very hard, you'll make it split on top. This top is
There is up and heaven bound, local 3, train 2, Harlem 138th Street, approaching the station, please stand away from the platform edge.
So I'm going to pass this around and you can look at it, goes by. And if this would be not green, it would be dried up, it wouldn't be kosher. The green means that it's kosher. But the main thing we look at is that it should be straight. You see people going like this. You see how if it's really straight. And you'll see people looking over here more than anything else. Because there are all these leaves, and then there's one part here, which is called the spine. It goes from here, you can follow it all the way up to here. The spine. And that spine leaf has to be complete. If that splits, that could make it unkosher. If it's split a little bit, it's okay. A little bit more, it's okay. If it's split more than this amount, that's not sure. So you have to be careful when you carry it. Sometimes people don't realize they walk through the book, hit the top, and it gets split. Or people think you have to shake it like this and you crash into the other person in front of you. We don't do this. The lulav is always straight. Now we shake it 6 directions. First to the right. We always bring it back to the heart. To the left, bring it back to the heart. Then we do it forward, we bring it back to the heart. Then we do it up, bring it down to the heart. Then down, bring it back to the heart. Then we go behind us. So we do all 6 directions: north, south, east, west, up and down. But in each direction, no matter which one it is, we keep it straight. Like some people, when they do it In one direction, you go like this. It's a custom. You go this way, that way. You keep it straight. You just move it in that direction. Yeah.
Your loves can do the office works with the way that you.
Good question. Because a lot of things it is that way. Kid that you would hold in your left hand, washing your left hand first. Could be. Because of that. Yeah, that's what it is. So you compare this around. Now we come to the Hadassim. This is the Hadass, and actually it's a beautiful one, and you have a chance to see what I was talking about. This also represents unity because it's 3 leaves, but look at it from the bottom, from here and on. All 3 come to the same stem, all the way up. And again, what people are looking for is to see, especially the top, that it's green, not dried up, and that it's 3. Some of them, it's 3, 3, 3, but then it starts becoming different. In fact, here, when I pass this around, here I have more to pass around. We have 3 here. So maybe somebody else can take the other 2. And you'll see that most of it is 3, 3, 3. And all the way at the bottom, it starts becoming 3, but not from the same stem. If you look at the bottom, you see what does it mean, not from the same stem. This one is 3, 3, all the way to the top. So actually, when this comes in a package, when we package it, they're already choosing, and they're not taking those that are not 3, 3. So it's a lot of work goes into it and putting it all together. Well, there are different prices for things. This particular thing that I'm holding here costs $10, 3 of them, and the arobas, which are this is the arobas. By the way, remember we said in class that halacha is 3, but there are customs that get more. There's certain numbers. There's some numbers 9, other numbers. The Rebbe specifically would have 36 of the Hadassim. 36. And but the last year, the Rebbe requested, the Rebbe said that everybody should make an effort to have at least 6 Hadassim. Halachically, you need only 3 to go beyond the halacha and have at least 6. This, it's always 2, no more than 2. And obviously, this represents those that have no taste and no scent. Remember, we said it's the lowest level. We don't add in this, but in that, we can add. So this is not 2 things coming out of the same stem, but the thing that indicates that this is the right species is that this stem is reddish. And that's a sign that this is what we really know as a aroma. You can pass this around. Yeah.
In Russia, palm trees definitely don't grow there. Where
They would have to import it. And in fact, there are stories of the olden days where there was one esrog for the whole town. Because it was very different. It's not like today, you walk down the street and there are 20 esrogim shops. In those days, there were times that was, especially if it was bad weather or there were wars and you couldn't travel, that sometimes the city was left without a little bit of esrog. And if they had, maybe they had one, and everybody had to go to this one person to bench.
Where are you from?
These it grows mainly, it says near a river, near a creek. What people do a lot of times, they take this and they plant it and they grow it in their backyard.
Yeah.
Right. It takes a lot of money. It's $3 each.
They sell them and they can bring.
Thank you. How do we keep it fresh? It's like any other plants. How do you keep it fresh? So most people will keep it in just like flowers. You keep it in something with water, and that will be fresh. I'll tell you a little secret what I do, and I'll bring this to the dorm as well. And that is this plastic bag you're looking at is treated with chemicals Some of you hear the word chemicals, you'll run out of the room. But the period with chemicals, and the chemicals preserves it. So if you take the lulav and the esrog and not the esrog, the lulav and all the other, and put it in here, all these plants, the lulav and this and that will be preserved. It will stay fresh all yom tov. That's what happens when I do it every year. Some people wrap it in a wet cloth. Water keeps it. Keep changing the water, either by putting it into like a flower pot, or not a flower pot, into a vase, or by wrapping a wet towel around it. That keeps it fresh. Now, also reminding you that on Shabbos we don't do lulav and esrog. Shabbos we don't do it. Now, besides making the bracha in the morning, the lulav and esrog also the men bring it to shul. And in shul, we use it for two things. Number one, when we say hallow. So I really want to talk a little bit about the changes in davening on Rosh Hashanah. Number one, on Sukkot. Number one, we say hallow on Sukkot. In hallow, there's the part where we say Hodul Hashem Kitov Kilolom Chazdo. So that part, the men are supposed to take the lulav and the esrog and shake it for each word in a different direction. Thank you. So when you say Hodu, for example, shake it to the right, Lashem, you don't shake it at all. Ki, Tov, Ki, Lodom, Chazbon, there's all 6 words, and you shake it in 6 directions. And then you shake it again by another part of Halal. That's number one. Why we take it to shul, to shake it when we say those special brachas, and those special psukim. The other thing is, really you should have your siddur open in front of you, and I should tell you, there's another thing on Sukkot, which is called Hashainas. Take your siddur. Anyway, last week I gave out a little booklet that had all the things about davening on Sukkot. I still have a few left. If anybody wants. This is very hard to teach because I have to say, if you have the red siddur, it's there. The blue siddur, it's here. The green siddur, it's there. And the other siddur, it's here. But if you look in your siddur, there'll be, look for the Hoshinus, that's what it's called, Hoshinus, which means it's a special prayer that we say on Sukkot, and where the word Hoshina means Hashem help us. And then again, you don't have to know the details, but generally what happens is everyone takes their lulav and their esrog, and they go around, again, hakafos, they make a circle around the bima one time. I mean, no place in the world is like 770, where a few thousand people have to go around the bima. So the Rabbi used to actually stand and wait till everybody finished. But you take your lulav and your esrog and you hold it together, everything, and you say this prayer, and you go around, and we do that every single day of Sukkot except for Shabbos. The last day of Sukkot is called Hoshana Rabbah, which means the big Hoshana. Why is it called the big? That day, we do it 7 times, not 1 time. So for every day of Sukkot, we do it once. And the day which is Shana Rabbah, we go around 7 times. What? With the lulav and the esrog. The bima, yeah, we circle the bima. In the Beit HaMikdash, they also had, it comes from the Beit HaMikdash, they used to take the lulavim and surround the mizbeach and put it there. But no, it's the lulav, the rava, and the hadas, and the whole set. We walk around and we circle. And when they circle, they also take out the Torah scroll. Someone stands in the middle of the bima while everybody else is circling. And after that, they bring it back, and then we have the reading of the Torah. So these are things which are very different on Sukkot than any other Yom Tov. That we use the lulav and esrog during davening. What else is there on Sukkot? After we finish with the shachris, we read the Torah. After the Torah reading is Musaf. As the Musaf, we also have again the blessing of the Kohanim. So that's done like every Yom Tov after Musaf. Basic time is only the first days and the two first days and the two last days. Now, there's another thing in davening that's different on during these days, and that's going to be the 8th day of Sukkot, Shmini Atzeres. What's the halacha of the 8th day of Sukkot? So, Sukkot is only 7 days. In the Chumash, it says 7 days. We always add an 8th day because, like every other holiday, only outside of Israel we do this, because they wouldn't know when the Yom Tov really began because of the moon. These are things you know already. So therefore, we have an 8th day. So are we obligated to eat in the sukkah or not? So the halacha is we're not obligated. In fact, in many communities, on the 8th day, people eat at home. They eat in the house. That's it. In some communities, at night they eat at home. In the morning, they eat in the house. And in Chabad community, is we continue with everything on the 8th day, just like all of sukkahs, which we don't eat. Men don't even take a drink outside of the sukkah on the 8th day. The only difference is that on the 8th day, we don't make a bracha for sitting in the sukkah. Because when you make a bracha, it means it's an obligation to eat in the sukkah, and it's no longer an obligation to eat in the sukkah. So, now another thing, hakafas, the dancing of hakafas. When is it on, the 8th day or the 9th day? In Israel, there's no 8th and 9th, it's only 1 day. So of course, but outside of Israel, when do we do the dancing? So there are many communities that on the 8th day there is no dancing. Only the 9th day, which is Simchas Torah. In Hasidic communities, I think all Hasidic communities, all followers of the Baal Shem Tov, they do hakafas the 8th day at night, but not by day. And on Simchas Torah, the 9th day, we do it at night and by day. Now again, what happens? What's supposed to happen by a kafas? What are you supposed to be doing? So you have to have your siddur in front of you. But if you look it up, you'll see. If you look in the table of contents, hakafas. So again, this is the order. First, they read out loud 17 psukim, which talks about the beauty of Torah, the greatness of Torah, the greatness of Hashem, and how Hashem gave us the Torah. And we honor. Someone's honored to read the first, the second, the third. And by the Rebbe would read, we do it 3 times. In other communities, they do it only 1 time. By the Rebbe, we do it 3 times. The first time, the Rebbe himself would read each one. And the second and third time, the Rebbe would only read the first and the last. And the middle ones, other people were honored to read. After these 17 psukim, then comes the dancing. Now, the dancing, first it starts off with saying certain things. There's someone who holds the Torah in his hand. He leads the group, and he says out loud certain parts. There's a special, also traditional nigun, traditional song that how they say it when they do this part. And this nigun, this tune, I think is also universal. I think in all communities it's pretty much the same tune. Maybe a little twist different here and a little twist different there, but it's generally all the same. In this siddur, for example, you'll find all this on page 383.
Same with the blue one.
What?
Same with the blue one. The blue one is also on 383.
The blue and the red are the same?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same one, right? And the Chazan leads it, and he says, "On Hashem, Mashiach, no," and the whole crowd repeats. "On Hashem, Aslicha, no," they repeat. There's a few things. It's the Aleph Beis order. The whole thing is the Aleph Beis. And then after that, there's a few psukim everyone says quietly, and then they start a nigun and they sing. And then someone announced, this is the end of the first dance. Then they do the same thing over again. Put all the Torahs back, then they take it out again. And who gets the Torahs? They honor different people. In every shul, they honor people in the shul. And as I told you before, that the Rebbe was always honored with the first Torah and in the 7th Hakata, in the 7th time dancing. And at night, after this, we say Aleinu, that's what it ends. The Rebbe's custom was that the Rebbe wanted that his Chassidim should go to different neighborhoods and join those other shuls and sort of join the dancing and make it more lebedik wherever they go, more lively. in general, if new people come, new faces show up, there's already more joy, something new. So some people walk to Borough Park, some people walk to Flatbush, some people walk to Manhattan, some people walk to Queens, they walk all over different neighborhoods. Before they went out, the Rebbe would stand in front of 770, as everybody were marching out, the Rebbe with his hand would wave, they would sing Napoleon's March out the other neighborhoods to do the singing. Then Hakafas would start 12:30 in the morning. What happened until 12:30? First you'd have a Ma'ariv. Then you go to make Kiddush. Then the Rebbe would have a Fabrengen from Ma'ariv until about 12 o'clock. He waited till all the people came back. Then about 12:30 would start, the Rebbe would go back to his room. They would reorganize the room for dancing. At 9:30, 12:30, the Rebbe would start the Hakafas. And yeah.
And whenever, sitting with the other children walk, it would do like compass there. And they come back and do compass by the Rebbe.
Yeah. The Alter Rebbe writes in the Siddur that if you did Hakafas and you happen to walk by another shul and they're also doing Hakafas, just join them and do Hakafas with them again. Can't be enough simcha. These Fabrengens were one of the most unusual, out of the ordinary Fabrengens. I mentioned before, Giluyim, that we saw things by the Rebbe that didn't happen all year long. The Rebbe was very different, very open to make remarks to certain people, to do things. It was a very, very special time, especially the one that was before the dancing, before the Hakafas. I remember one year, it was a very interesting year. I'm wondering why I can't talk anymore. But I was going to tell you a story. I remember that I have to drink. The Rebbe took his cup, drank the whole cup, and then went like this. I was looking at it. What does that mean? Usually this is a sign when you want to tell somebody, they call it in English, bottoms up. If you turn it over, we know you drank the whole cup. You took the whole drink. That was like this, and everybody's looking. And then there was one person, I think it was the Rebbe's Rabbi Khan, the Rebbe one who used to repeat the Rebbe's teachings. He realized the Rebbe wants us to do the same thing. So everybody finished their cups, picked up their cups, and the whole 7-7 was like this. Try to imagine. Singing a real lively niggun and holding the cups like this, and the Rebbe's holding his becher like this the whole time. After that, the Rebbe explained something. Still didn't explain what was going on because they never did this before. The Rebbe doesn't do things just to make us laugh. But the Rebbe did explain, in the menorah, there were cups designed on the menorah. And the design of the cups is very different than what I would think it would be. The design of the cups, this is what the menorah looked like. It was V-shaped like this. One, and that's two, and that's three, and that's four. And there were designs on this, a button, and the flower. The cups, I would think, would look like this, like a cup. Instead, it was made like this, an upside-down cup. Where do we know this from? The Rambam. The Rambam doesn't normally do this, but in this case, he actually drew a diagram of what the menorah looked like. And his diagram, it looked like this, and the cups were upside down. I've explained what is the meaning of a cup upside down. And the answer is the cup serves two purposes. One purpose is to receive. You pour into a cup, so the cup is the recipient, and the juice or the wine or the water goes into the cup. The other is that through the cup provides, gives. You take the cup, and that's how you drink, and the cup is. So the difference is if the cup is this way, upright, it's receiving. If the cup is upside down, it's pouring out. And being that the Beis Hamikdash was the place that godly light and godly energy and godly sustenance was spread to the whole world, therefore the cup was upside down. So again, it still didn't explain what was unique that simple Torah, but obviously it was something
And then can we go to the dorm room for
spread
just a there?
the whole world.
And then I don't know, yeah, I'm still figuring out.
That was Tafshin Mem Vav,
Yes.
574-6 in his Torah. What?
我知道，that's no life.
85.
Yeah, I think it's a dial. Yeah. I was also about to drive, so it's not going to drive. Good morning.
Okay, there's something that I wanted to say that I missed out about the davening.
Parking lot, but it's like
Oh,
closed when I get
yeah,
there, so I have to like
Shana
get
Rabbah.
out of my car, like walk in, and it's like
Shana
there's just,
Rabbah.
like barely a spot. That's a little annoying.
Why do
And
we
then I
do
can't like
the
do anything
7
while I
times?
cry.
Not only 7 times. There's a whole segment here that we do
Yeah.
on the Shana Rabbah,
So
prayers that we say on that day.
nice you.
And the reason is
Could
because
be
it says that
right.
even
So
though
I thought that
Hashem writes things in his book on Good
Yeah.
Year, on Rosh Hashanah,
I will.
and he signs it and seals it on Yom Kippur. But to a certain extent, the final sealing is on Hoshana Rabbah, which is the 7th day of Sukkot. So that's why we have extra prayers. And in every Siddur you'll find it. And this Siddur, the prayers for Hoshana Rabbah, is right before Simchas Torah. So it starts on page 376, 368. First of all, it gives it to you what to say every day. And then it has what you say on the 7th day. And it's a long prayer. The night before, the custom in Chabad is that we're up all night, like Shavuos, and we recite the whole Tehillim together. We start after midnight at 1 o'clock, then we start the whole Tehillim together. And that's interesting because, especially in Chabad, first of all, Simchas Beis HaShevet is dancing every night, all night long. Then the night before, Shmini Atzeres and Sukkot, we're again saying till 1 o'clock in the morning all night. You would think that at the end of the Yom Tov, everybody's like depleted. The joy and the simcha in the last 2 days is like above and beyond anything you've seen before. It's simcha. I'm also one of those people who used to walk to different neighborhoods with the dancing. And it's very interesting to watch because by us, we're dancing night after night, from the night till the morning and the Simchas Torah. When you come to the certain shuls, people dance in 5 minutes, and that's the first one is over, another 5 minutes, the second one is over. So this kind of dancing where you're dancing all night, that is something which is unusual. Where do you get the strength to do that? Because it's Yom Tov. It gives you the strength to be able to, but naturally it comes from understanding and appreciating the joy of having good merit, to have Torah, and to have our connection to Hashem. There's a very famous story with Rabbi Majeski. They once walked over to one of these simple Jews who was dancing on Simchas Torah. And he said, I see you dancing, you're red in the face, and you're singing so loud. How much Torah did you learn this year? And he said, I'm really sorry, I'm not very learned. So why are you dancing like that? He wasn't there to embarrass him, he wanted to get his answer. And his answer was, well, when your brother is marrying off one of his children, you're also dancing and singing. My brothers have finished learning so much Torah, so I'm dancing and singing with them. Rabbi Majeski, he was considered like the defendant of the Jewish people. He brought this before the heavenly court and said, look how precious these children are. But the Rebbe spoke about the story and said, but the truth is that Simchas Torah is not anybody's brothers. It's every Jew's Simcha. It makes no difference. In fact, if the Simchas Torah would be spent by learning, there'd be differences. Spent by dancing and singing, everybody could dance, everybody could sing, everybody could be jumping up and down. So in fact, it says that the 48 hours of Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah are as precious as the 48 hours of Rosh Hashanah. But Rosh Hashanah, it's through the work of Tshuva or Kabbalas Oil. And on Simchas Torah, it's through Simcha and singing and dancing. And if the thought comes to you and says, but me, what am I besimcha about? This is coming from the Yetzer Hara. Any thought that gets in the way of being besimcha is yours truly. He's always there. And therefore, disregard, naturally, during the week where there's actually music playing, when you can have music, it's a little bit easier to have that kind of simcha and do all the dancing and singing. But let me stick to the davening. So we went over, there's the Shanas, there's Hallel, the Shana Rabbah. And another thing which I forgot is on the 8th day of Sukkot, say a special prayer for rain. This prayer is said twice a year. When we make this, say this prayer on Pesach, we're asking Hashem for dew. When we say this prayer on the 8th day of Sukkot, we're asking Hashem for rain. It's called Geshem. And this is done during Musaf. And from that point on, we change a certain part of davening where we say, Mashiv Haruach U'Morid HaGeshem. From that point on. Now, there's another difference between hakafas at night and hakafas by day. Hakafas at night, we go 7 times. And by day, anyone know how it's different? By day, we do it 3.5 times. How do you do 3.5? Basically, it means that all the things that we say during all 7, by day, we make an effort to say it all in 3.5 times. You start at a certain point, you go around once, same point, twice, and then you circle another half a circle, and you stop, and over there you finish reading all the 7 things for all 7. What the difference is, I don't know. I just know that's the way we do it. Chabad, yeah. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed out in terms of the davening. I think we covered everything. The toughest, the hallow, the kohanim, the shyness, the 7th day, the shana rabbah. By the way, in terms of using honey, for when you make kiddush, the dip, the challah, the honey, we did that on Rosh Hashanah. We also did it again the day before Yom Kippur and the night after Yom Kippur. And we do it again on the 2 days of Sukkot. And we do it once again on the 7th day of Sukkot, Shana Rabbah. We also use honey. Other than that, our custom is to use salt again. Yeah.
I remember that, I think it's on the channel, that's the thing that says, you're supposed to take relevant when, I don't.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now you just remind me another thing. On Shana Rabbah, which is the 7th day, we take this branch, which is the willow, but we take 5 of them, tie it together, and you'll see that here in Crown Heights, the day before, starting at night, they're going to be selling it. Don't worry about buying it because there's more than you can possibly even think of buying. Everybody is selling these bunches, 5 together, not expensive. And then there's a certain part of davening. After we do the 7 circles, we say certain prayers. A lot of it is about pouring out our heart about the suffering of Golus, and the last part is mainly about Mashiach. And after we do that, we take this, and this is a custom that was instituted by the prophets, by the Nevi'im. And specifically, I'll tell you where to find this, because you don't have to say all those prayers, but this you should definitely do. In fact, we buy this for every member of the family, even little children, even infants. And the parent will do it for their infant. And it's in this siddur, it's on page, before we were 368, 367. No, it's before that, sorry. It's on page 382. In Chassidus and Kabbalah explain that the number 5 is connected to Gevura, the attribute of severity. So we take 5 of these and we knock it on the floor 5 times. And I guess based on Kabbalah, this has to do with canceling any kind of severity, any kind of Gevura. Little children, parents always can't explain in Gevura. So you say that by doing this, you're hitting the Yetzer Hara, you're beating them up. So they knock until every leaf is gone. But really, you're only supposed to do it 5 times. And you slap it on the floor 5 times. And then you say this prayer on page 382. That's the last day that we say the David Hashem Ori. What?
So you said that a parent does it for an infant child. Does the parent do it once for themselves and then
Yeah.
once for?
Separate from himself and then from the child. Also, the prayer of David Hashem Ori, which began to say on Elul, we say it every day until the last time we say it is Mincha of Shana Rabbah. Then that's the last time we say it. Okay, that's it. And if you can remind me something, tomorrow we'll have another class. So either we'll cover more halacha. Oh, tomorrow Rabbi Azov should be here. Today something came up, he couldn't make it. So hopefully he'll take over. Okay, you're welcome.